Welcome to the WinEH podcast. This show is focused on empowering ranchers. Whether you're a seasoned rancher or just getting started, we'll guide you on how to use the infinite banking concept as an alternative way to finance your operations. It's a better way to think about money. Join us as we discuss planning for the future, attracting the next generation, and the art of keeping more money within the family. Here's your hosts, Winnie and Lacey.
Hello over there. We are just so honored that you decided to come and choose to be with us, to lean in on what we are going to go over today, which is a very interesting, just an interesting experience that we just had with a potential client that was checking out infinite banking, right? Because their pain point was the fact that they had to pay out all this crop insurance for $30,000 a year, and they've been doing it over and over and over again. And they heard about the infinite banking concept. It's like, oh, that's just so painful. Like, I think about, 16 years times $30,000. Like, what could I have had that do for me? You, Lacey, you and I both know that learning about infinite banking does take time, right? Takes time to really have it sink in, to wrap your mind and wrap your axles around how it's going to look and feel to integrate this into your life. What was very interesting to me is that they were more bothered by spending $30,000 in crop insurance and realizing that they didn't get much back for how much they put in, and then not bothered by the $265,000 that they were paying in interest at the bank.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Riddle me this.
Mm-hmm. So the problem here is with the way we think. Are we more bothered by what we have put into insurance premiums, or are we so accustomed to paying interest to the bank that we're just like, overlook that, but look at what I'm having to expense for other things. And so the problem here is like, whoa. What about the 6 digits that are going to the bank? Let's try to redirect our focus and try to solve for that before we try to worry about the $30,000 in insurance, crop insurance premiums.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's like a matter of perspective, what's on top of mind. Perhaps it's, I think initially, this person, when they were looking at it, it's like, well, what would it look like if I was to turn around and take, that $30,000 a year and stick it into, redirect it so that, I can start practicing infinite banking, right?
Yeah.
And so here's something just to really level set expectations here. It's like, this is not like right away. It's not like if you go to the bank and you can check off all their boxes and get qualified, you get millions of dollars of access, right? Mm-hmm. And so switching to the infinite banking lifestyle for all of the things that it is really great for takes time to be able to experience all of those benefits that we talk about. Right? Kind of like, it's the same thing. Like, if I want to lose 20 pounds, there is no quick way, like no amount of surgery is going to allow me to just chop off 20 pounds in all the areas that I want. And then it's instant and it just stays forever, right? I have to go through the pain of changing the way I eat, making sure I exercise each day in order to get that result. And so there is a trade-off and a sacrifice of time, effort, energy in order to get that overall result, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the initial idea of this gentleman's idea of self-insuring instead, right? And making sure that instead of paying $30,000 a year and never seeing a return, right? Because in the 16, 17 years that they'd been paying out on it, very little has come back for making a claim, right?
Yeah.
And saw a path initially of redirecting and going forward, taking it and putting it into the infinite banking concept as a strategy, right? Using the strategy and then using the financial tool that goes along with it to do that. And of course, we had, it's our fiduciary responsibility. It's like, okay, now let's just walk through this and let's just say you don't get any crop insurance, right? Mm-hmm. You stop it and let's say you redirect it back here, start the lifestyle, the infinite banking policy and do it this way. What happens if you needed to make a claim? Mm-hmm. Right? And something happens with your crops.
Yeah.
But you don't have crop insurance now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's a huge risk.
But there's a period of time where as you're building your own system of as you're building your own banking system, it takes time. It's not instantaneous. So there's a risk. I mean, this person spent what is it? 30,000 a year times 16. What is that? I'm not a person who adds it. So that's 480,000. Right? And what was, this gentleman was explaining that of that 480,000 that they spent over the last 16 years, they barely got any of it back.
Yeah. Yeah. A very small payment.
Right? Mm-hmm. So you have to be willing to trade off for the ability to fully self-insure. I mean, no different. I mean, it was painful spending $480,000 over a 16-year period to not get much of it back. Mm-hmm. But knowing that if you decided to go through this route, none of it will make sense unless you read the books and go through the education of all of it. But it is still a much better use of your money. But you have to go through the growing pains of a period of potential risk in mm-hmm. order to get through to the other side.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And going back to what we've said in previous episodes, it takes a decision to, well, first and foremost, educate yourself, but then to implement the concept, to be diligent and coachable, and to allow the time. And so allow the time and allow those pain points, because I like to think like anything worth having doesn't come easy. And so it takes, just like you referenced the gym, it takes hard work and dedication no matter what we are wanting to achieve. And so if we're wanting to self-insure, we're wanting to have our money do something different, or we don't want to pay those 6 digits to the bank every year. We have to be willing to put in the hard work, but also be patient to trust the process. Trust it and, do everything that you can to propel you into that where you want to be, and then trust. But yeah, rethinking our thinking.
And yet at the same time, it is about shifting all the ways in which we think about putting money into a system that you don't really understand off the bat, right? I think, and yet, I guess what's interesting about this, I'll put it this way, because I'm doing my best to put myself into the shoes of a person who put on the brakes. Maybe they'll come back and realize, because, quite often there's some people who just get it right away. They really take the time, they take it to the finish line, they really look into it as much as they possibly can in one fell swoop, consistently, versus a person who reads a chapter, puts it down for another 3 months, forgets what was written in the first chapter, tries to pick up the book, the stop, start process of checking out, whether this is something for them. And I know this person decided not to move forward, and what stopped them, even though it really made a lot of sense, they really wanted a solution for their original pain point, is because they didn't allow themselves to continue learning about really what does the overall process look like in order to access money in and out of this thing, right? Something to which you cannot do As soon as you put money into crop insurance, I mean, that money is gone and gone forever. You cannot make that money work for you ever again. And you may or may not get it back depending on if your crops grow or not grow due to this or that or the other thing, right? Super conditional.
Yeah.
You might as well just kiss that money goodbye. Yeah, albeit maybe the only benefit is they get to write it off against their income that they make that year.
Yeah.
Right. But it'll never grow for them again. And here's the other thing. It's like growing your thinking enough to think, what else can the infinite banking concept solve for? Right? They didn't even get to the point of realizing and get sick about the fact that they were waving goodbye to $265,000 a year in interest.
Yeah.
But they were worried about the $30,000, right? They didn't even get to that level of introspection or exploration that there could also be done something about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And what I believe what stopped them at, in all of this is the trick of dealing with when we're taking a look at implementing the infinite banking concept, which is a mindset. It is a mindset. It is a way of thinking. And of course, with the added, and because the most optimal financial vehicle used to drive that thinking happens to be a insurance contract.
Yeah.
Right? There's that second layer of, that we all have to go through when we adopt this in our life. It's the fact of not thinking about these policies as another added expense.
Yeah.
But as a vehicle in which you are depositing money into and can have the contractual ability for your money to come back out and use in your life.
Yeah, like an alternate place to store your money. Yeah.
Yeah, but it takes a lot of getting used to. It's like, oh, you can do that? Oh, you can do that? Like, how quickly can I get my money? Because it's not quite the same as you put in, $100 in your bank and then you get $100 back out, right?
Yeah.
It's not like that at first. It takes time.
No. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it takes time. And so I think what we can learn from this particular case is kudos to him for having the courage to come forward. And, he read the books, he met with us. But then, don't give up too soon, because you hear about a lot of people, when the going gets tough, they give up right before they hit that big success, that next huge milestone in their business or, whatever they're doing. And so what we can learn from this situation is don't make judgment too soon because you see the impossible. Have that faith in what you can't see, and let's continue a conversation to see what is possible, because you just may be missing out on the one thing that is going to get you where you want to be if you quit too soon.
Now, I'm going to say exactly what you just said, but in the affirmative. Keep learning. Keep walking till you have more clarity to see what is this infinite banking really going to do?
Yeah.
Keep discovering it until you really just allow yourself to know that there is a possibility of regaining the money that you would otherwise just leave sitting on the table for somebody else and get that. This gentleman was truly excited. How can I get this money back? Just know that the infinite banking concept can do this for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because even if you do go through all of the learning, more learning, and you decide it's not for you, well, you still learned. You still learned something. And so it's not a waste. And I think that I know that he learned things, and I'm glad for that. And I think he'll be back.
Yep. So in order to help those that are listening supersede the step that this particular gentleman didn't end up going past, what do you think? What's the next best step so that these folks can really take things to the next level and see a way through
Okay, so we're always telling you, keep learning, keep learning. So I want you to head over to our website and purchase the book bundle. And in this Canadian version, we're so excited about the Canadian version of Farming Without the Bank. There's case studies. And so I want you to take those in. Take the time to sit with those case studies. Picture yourself and your own operation in those case studies, because I don't want you to sell yourself short and give up too soon. Keep learning. So head over to our website, ranchyourway.com, grab those books.
So glad you leaned in with us on the WinEH podcast. We truly hope you're feeling more informed and empowered to take another step towards optimizing your financial life. Right now, make sure you hit subscribe so you can keep growing and learning with us. Until next time, we wish you prosperity in every area of your life.